Hi Rick, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Keith. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. You having a good weekend?
Yeah, it's really nice. It just started, and you're the first opportunity I have to disappoint.
Well, it won't happen. It won't happen here.
We'll see.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, I was on the pickleball court last night, man.
Uh,
Uh, I think we'll do a podcast. Let's title this one "It Never Sleeps,"
it
and
never
it
sleeps.
never sleeps. And I'm talking about the ego, the personal self, the monster inside that's always yapping, and it's got to be a certain way and all that. So I'm at the pickleball court last night. There's a new indoor court, which has been, I think we learned about it earlier in the year, maybe like March or something, and it's supposed to be coming. The hope was is that, they would have it all built out and ready to go by August, so you can get some of the, benefits of escaping the summer heat on the court. But by the time they got it completed and finished with all the permit stuff they had uh to get done, it was this week is the opening week. And so the first day I could go was last night, and I went last night with some friends. It's beautiful inside, a lot of courts available. I'm with some great friends. We're going to play, some of which are work colleagues. Another one's a buddy who is going through a tough time in his personal life. So it's a good time. Rick, it should have been a good time. But But this dude showed up with me. This guy showed up with me. I have a policy at Mayo Clinic that is badge access only, and we did a podcast on this. And what it means is that when I swipe my badge to go into Mayo Clinic, my ego doesn't have a badge, so he can't go in. So I have a blast at Mayo, like all day. I'm like, this is fantastic. That dude is he can't come in. He's not authorized. But apparently he paid for a membership too, or he's piggybacking on mine because this dude was on me all night last night at the court. So we start out playing. I invite a friend to play. Like I said, he's going through a hard time. His skill level is one in which he's still really developing, but he's making a lot of the same errors that new people make, or people that haven't practiced or taken lessons and things like that. And Rick, I'm doing my best to be a good teammate with him, but it's happening. It's pop up after pop up, the wrong shot, we're getting crushed. And instead of remembering that, hey, you're playing a game with a wiffle ball and a paddle on this court, like, and you're indoors, it's beautiful. People are so nice. The staff couldn't be nicer. Why are you ruining this, man? And this guy, all he wanted to talk about, and I'm talking about little Keith, all he wanted to talk about was how my partner was not moving up. I mean, everything he did, I just saw like, why are you running in? We gotta wait till the ball bounces. Like, why are you popping it up? They got good hands. Why are you trying? Like, it didn't stop, Rick. And so I took beating after beating last night. And Rick, and the beating wasn't just the score of the games I played. This guy gave me a beating last night. He beat me left and right, Rick. And
Uh,
so, the victors were high-fiving each other, loving it, and my ego didn't like that either. It didn't celebrate with them. So, and what you mentioned something off camera, which was, man, even when you make progress in this practice, in this journey of self-mastery, that the work is never done. And you're right. It never sleeps. I've gotten to the point to where I am so present and mindful at work that it doesn't happen at work. I've gotten better at it all over the years at ToBeRe to where it doesn't show up often at ToBeRe either. But on that pickleball court, it shows it's been showing up, and the difference is that at the court I play with in my neighborhood, I've worked on it there, so it doesn't show up there. So I thought that was transferred to this new venue. It didn't. This guy, like I said, has a membership, and he showed up with me, and he was just his normal self, a maniac in there, complaining about everything and judging everything. I mean, I had the maniac with me, and so now. I'm supposed to go today, and I got to remember, I got to call ahead and tell the gym that he didn't pay for a membership, so that when I get in there, it's me solo being my best self and just using everything that isn't perfect and there will be almost everything that's not perfect, to use that as a moment to let go of myself. What are your thoughts, Rick? Help me here.
Oh, right. Yeah, I go through that very similar to what you do as well. The main message is that the practice is the practice. You know, you never become expert at it. It's a practice. You have to keep trying it out. You have to keep dealing with things that upset you and keep dealing with your judgments and keep dealing with all of the negative thoughts that come up that have to do with trying to protect yourself and project an image of whatever you want to project. When you get rid of that, when you get rid of that illusion, you feel better about yourself. So what I was going to ask you was, you know, you went through all of that, and here the ego is dictating how you're handling other people that you love, and you're being a little rough on them,
And myself.
and you're being a little rough on yourself. How does that make you feel? You
Oh,
know,
Rick.
compared to how it is when you're on your home court where you've already worked it out, or when you go into Mayo's, when you have your badge that swishes and prevents this guy from coming in with you. Compare the two. I mean, how is the inner life better when you don't do that?
It's not good, Rick. And because at my home court, when I'm taking a beating, Matt and I are laughing about it the next day when we come in to work out. You know, we're laughing about, man, can you believe that beating we took? Or this is what we did well, man, we can't do this or stuff like that. But it's fun. And when I have taken a and we're celebrating in real time on the court with other people, we're like, man, great hands, that was a great shot. We're clapping paddles like, hey, hats off. That you guys played well, man. What I find is if I come into the game with an attachment to how it's supposed to go, I mean, it's not even for this maniac, it's not even enough that we win. I have to play well in the win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just enough that this dude is selfish, man. It's not just enough that we win. I gotta play well in the win. And because even if I play well in a loss, I'm going to find something to complain about. So what I think I have to do, Matt and I take lessons from this guy named James. He is great. He has an accent. He's from Africa. So he calls it's Mr. Matt and Mr. Keith. And he keeps, every time he sees, he's like, you guys need to take a beating. He said, that's what's going to help you get better. You got to take a beating. And so Matt and I are gotten better playing against him, but he's not playing full speed. He's probably playing like 30% against us. Uh,
Wow.
oh, he is that good. I mean, when people hear me talk about that, because they know that I'm pretty fit and Matt's fit, they're surprised that we're getting beat this bad by him. I'm like, this dude he's beating us, but we're laughing the whole time. Like we're laughing the whole time. So there's some things that he's trying to coach us with in our game. And and Matt and I are different. There's some things that I pick up very easily and he struggles with, and there are other things that he struggles with. I mean, that I struggle with that he picks up easily. So we're kind of opposite. And he tells us that all the time. He said, what you guys need to do is you need to join a league and you need to play with people better than you because you guys need a beating. I want you guys to take beating after beating after beating. But then you'll learn and you'll get better. And I think about that, and that's how I need to go into this is what I think will be helpful, is that every time I go into play a pickleball game, because it's a really a great metaphor for life, is I need this guy to be diminished every single time. I mean, because he's what's ruining the game for me. Is not my conscious self. My conscious self doesn't care about wins or losses or anything like that. It's like, man, it just wants the experience. And this guy needs to take a beating every single time. So as I go into the court today, I'm going to be saying to myself, like, something's going to happen and you're going to get a beating today. And there's going to be less of you. There's less of you that's going to leave, the court with me today, which is a gift. I tell people all the time that my mom, when I was growing up, and I was probably like 3 or 4, but she noticed that when she would tell me something, I was slow to do it, you know, at early age. And I think she told me that she said, Keith, I noticed that you had a tendency, an inclination to be lazy. She said, I made it my parenting mission to not let that get out of this house alive. And let me tell you, she succeeded. She succeeded. You
Boy,
know,
she did. She sure
yeah.
did.
Yeah, if I was complaining about cutting our grass, she would make me cut five neighbors' grasses. I mean, yards. And so, so I have a strong work ethic as a result. That's what I need to do with his ego. He is not leaving the court alive. I mean, he is not getting out of there alive. Every time we go, it's going to be less of him. Michael Singer says that the wise person, the evolved person, that what they do is they hold their lower self out to the world and let the world take a piece of it until there's nothing left. And this part of me is what I think my coach wants. He wants none of that bad behavior, those bad habits. And what I want is none of that part of me to be left. Everything is, it's got to go, Rick. It's ruining my experiences. And as you told me before, this thing is over in a snap, man. We blink and this physical form is gone. So I can't be wasting my time, with this maniac on the court with me.
Yeah, good for you, brother. That's a huge enlightening a lightning bolt. You know, it's one of those things where if you don't monitor it, you don't even know you're doing it. It's on autopilot. Even
Totally.
after so many years of practice, it's on autopilot. The ego's going to come up and say, that's a crappy shot, or you're not playing well, or whatever it is, or the traffic's too bad, or why didn't my paralegal get this thing done, or the judge is not on his game. I mean, all of those things that make you look good or try to make you look good that the ego is protecting you for are the things that bring you down, that cause you the trouble, that cause you to not feel inside the way you want to feel inside. And the ego's attachment to being right is one of the big potholes on the road of life. Wanting to be right. Man, if you could just master that and not bitch and complain all the time about things that aren't, quote, right, close quote, for you, you live a much happier, much sweeter life. So congratulations on being aware of it. Sorry you're having some trouble on the court, but it's really, like James says, a wonderful opportunity
Yeah.
to learn and to get the lesson, that a beating is just a beating and it helps you improve. It's not something that you need to argue with and try to protect yourself from.
Exactly. And the thing about it too is one of my friends who I was talking to on my drive home last night, as I was telling her about playing with the maniac, because it literally, instead of playing with the two people that are in the opposing team, this guy will make it me against four people, the two on the other team, my partner when they make a mistake, as well as the maniac. I'm playing four people, and but she's like, would it be any fun if you were winning? And the maniac said, he spoke up. He's like, yeah, kinda. It would be if I won every game. It would be, but to do that, I'd have to play with people that aren't, probably not as good to win every game. And then that's when it doesn't become fun. It doesn't become fun at that point. Michael Singer talks about, playing golf. You can win every game. All you have to do is walk up to every hole and just drop the ball in. I mean, so but would that be any fun? No, it wouldn't be any fun if you just walk right up to the hole, stand right over and just drop it in. You can win every game that way, every game, but it wouldn't be any fun. And so I'm going to use this as that. I'm going to tell my friends that when that when I'm on the court, they need to say, "Hey, listen, I see the maniac's got a paddle too," right? Something like that, so that I can become back conscious, Rick. But I'll continue to work on that, man. I love you, Rick. Thank you so much for just being a stand for me, continuing to grow.
Baby, it's just great to be with you, and I love hearing your stories about how you're working the practice into your life and how the practice always, always isn't there for you. Sometimes you have to reach down and grab it by the neck and pull it up and have it help you, like you realize with a pickleball court. But the key is always monitoring, always being aware of who you want to be and how to get there with the practice. And when you're not in the practice, be aware of it and get right back on.
Absolutely, Rick, because this guy never sleeps. Never sleeps. I love you, Rick.
I love you, Keith. Take care.